What's up, everybody? My name's Big Cam and welcome back to another trailer reaction and breakdown. And today, Marvel Studios finally dropped an unexpected, just random Tuesday morning. They dropped the Avengers Doomsday teaser trailer that's currently playing ahead of Avatar Fire and Ash, and I talked about briefly yesterday in my Comically Boston Weekly Nerd News podcast, my longer form content that comes out on Mondays, so go check that out if you haven't. But I didn't have the actual footage from the trailer. I just talked about it briefly, but now we have the full friggin' trailer, and there's not much going on. There's no dialogue. It's just revealing that this character that wasn't on the chairs in that announcement earlier this year, they're just announcing one character will return for Avengers Doomsday. But who is that character? You might have seen it leak online last week. But let's jump right on into this teaser trailer, and I'm just going to let it run and have my reaction going the whole time. So let's see what this Avengers Doomsday trailer has to offer. Alright, a motorcycle riding into some farm. That looks like the Cap and Peggy house from the end of Avengers Endgame. Motorcycle. He's on a Triumph. He's got a wedding ring on. That's interesting. Now in the movie, I knew just from this reflection, I was like, oh, it's him. My mother was like, who? I go, you'll see. And then the next shot, his Captain America shielded chest, but he's packing it away. He's not, wearing it. And now he's got a baby and a little towel over his shoulder for, a little spit up towel for that baby. And it looks like he's wearing blue, so maybe the baby's a son. And we got Steve Rogers, friggin' Chris Evans, back as Steven Rogers, Captain America. Now, he might be back as Cap, but currently Sam Wilson's our Captain America. But Steve is alive, he's young, he's not old, he has a baby, probably with Peggy, and it says Steve Rogers will return in Avengers Doomsday. So one more person added to that casting list for Avengers Doomsday, coming December 18th, 2026, and the 1 year countdown commences now. So we got a little less than a year out from Avengers Doomsday. We're a little less than 6 months out from Spider-Man Brand New Day, so I'm expecting that trailer to be coming out pretty soon as well. But as far as like this little teaser trailer, like I was talking about in my podcast yesterday, not a whole lot going on, but I do like the new Avengers logo, how it has like, it almost looks like the Sanctum Sanctorum like window, but slightly different with the A in it, and then it has like this green glowing, maybe Doctor Doom magic coming from behind it. But as far as it ranks up against the other Avengers logos, the Avengers 2012, Age of Ultron, Infinity War, Endgame, and now Avengers 5, Avengers Doomsday, baby, heading into the next Avengers saga. But clearly it's been some time since Avengers Endgame, probably at least a year, because Cap was dancing, now he's got a wedding ring, he's got a baby, so that's at least 9 months there for her to push out the kid, so probably at least 9 months to a year, maybe even more in this time jump between Endgame and now. But my theory for this is that the reason why the Russo brothers came back was because Avengers Doomsday and the idea they had, and why RDJ has to be Doctor Doom, all has to do with Captain America bringing the stones back at the end of that movie. And they almost purposefully didn't touch it because they didn't quite understand, they didn't agree on the time travel logic of it all. The writers thought, Cap went back in time, and then him and Peggy lived out their life in the background of the MCU as we know it, and Peggy, when she was an old lady, and we saw her earlier in the MCU, I think in like Winter Soldier, when Cap's carrying her, casket, her kids that he sees in a picture frame by the side of her bed, they thought those were his kids all along, type of thing. But there's also another option that this is a branch timeline, kind of like Loki, and he created like this incursion timeline, and he could have fucked up the universe by going back and choosing, the selfish, play for himself and choosing happiness. But, you know, maybe destiny is not meant for Chris Evans and Steve Rogers to be happy, and maybe it's meant for him to pick up that shield one more time and throw it at friggin' Dr. Doom. It bounces off, goes over to his buddy Sam Wilson Cap. He throws it back, and then him and Steve and Sam are playing catch with it. Or hell, who knows? Maybe this baby, right? Because all we really know about Avengers Doomsday so far is that the Thunderbolts post-credit scene ties into the Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four's post-credit scene showed Dr. Doom looking at Reed Richards' son, Franklin Richards, and Sue Storm's son, Franklin Richards, you know, like their baby. So why does Dr. Doom have an interest in Franklin Richards? Probably because he's, you know, power cosmic and everything that Galactus was interested in him for. But now, in the only other footage we've seen from Avengers Doomsday, we see another baby? So, you know, I don't trust coincidences. Why does Dr. Doom have an interest in not only the Fantastic Four's baby, but he has an interest in maybe Steve Rogers and his baby? And is Steve Rogers' son going to be a super soldier, half human, half super soldier just by birth? Is he going to be some type of mutant or powerful? I don't ever remember hearing of a Peggy and Steve's kid being like a big hero in the comics or anything, but I could be wrong. I'm no expert. But as far as this movie, the opening shots of him on like this farm, the only thing that reminds me of is like Clint in his random farmhouse that we see in like Age of Ultron and other movies. But this is definitely the same house, I believe, as the end of Avengers Endgame. And, you know, he pulls up on a motorcycle, he's got a wedding ring. Oh man. Oh man, no Peggy, no Haley Atwell in these shots, but I'm sure she'll be back. And like, we knew the same way we knew Elektra was going to be in Deadpool and Wolverine, even though for months after it was confirmed by Hollywood Reporter, months after, every time she was asked about it, she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then sure enough, Deadpool Wolverine comes around and she's in the movie. So, you know, like a year ago, it got announced that Haley Atwell and Chris Evans were going to be in Avengers Doomsday, and we haven't heard anything else from it. But like, you know, Hollywood Reporter is a fairly, you know, reliable source for this type of stuff. So we knew, but now this little teaser trailer confirms that Steve's in there, and we still don't know why or what this movie's about, but I'd love to hear your theories down below. You know, are you thinking Cap's gonna be back and fighting against Doom? Do you think Doom's gonna try and kill him right away at the beginning of the movie? Is Doom going to take the children? Is Doom going to take Steve Rogers and make him more like a Hydra Steve, and it's gonna be Dr. Doom and, you know, like a bad Captain America, Hydra Cap, against the Avengers and the good guys, you know? Like, but then there's also going to be the different groups, because there's going to be, you know, Thor's group, whoever he's with. There's going to be Loki, you know, maybe with Thor, but you know what I mean? Like, there's going to be Loki on the time thing. There's Wakandans, there's Fantastic Four, there's the Thunderbolts, there's the other X-Men, the old X-Men. There could be a new group of X-Men. There could be the Spider-Man people, you know what I mean? Like, the Spider-Man aren't really confirmed, but like the X-Men, the Wakandans, the Thunderbolts, the Fantastic Four, all of them are confirmed. So we're going to have these different groups that I think we're going to be bouncing around from, and then eventually maybe they come together. Or hell, maybe Dr. Doom just creates Battleworld and then brings all these groups to the Battleworld and makes them fight each other. So maybe we get like a Fantastic Four versus the X-Men, and then like the Thunderbolts versus Sam Wilson's Avengers. And then you get like Bucky versus Sam, and they're like fighting kind of like Captain America Civil War, but they don't want to be fighting, you know what I mean? So maybe, another little theory that I'm just popping into my head right now, maybe Avengers Doomsday is more like Captain America Civil War, where it splits the, you know, it brings them together, but also splits them apart, you know, and draws a line in the sand where, okay, you're either Team Cap or Team Iron Man. Maybe this will split them all apart, and then in Avengers Secret Wars, everyone has to come together, and I mean everybody, all the way back to Blade and all the way back to like Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider. I mean everybody comes back for Secret Wars, and then maybe Secret Wars is more like Infinity War and Endgame, and Secret Wars gets split into two parts. I wouldn't be mad at that at all. Turn this, you know, Avengers movie and Avengers movie into 3 movies. That might be better, you know, or shit, even make like a Secret Wars 4.5 hour movie. I don't care. I mean, we'd go and see it, but I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of story to tell and not much in between now and Doomsday. So I think Spider-Man's going to be great, but I genuinely don't think it's going to have too much connection to Avengers Doomsday unless it's like in a post-credit scene. But the actual movie itself, I don't think will connect. You know, it might connect to Daredevil Born Again and the street level stuff and like whatever the Punisher special presentation is, but I really don't know it, and I'm just craving for more information. But hopefully this means if they put out 4 trailers over the next 4 weeks for Avengers Doomsday playing ahead of Fire and Ash, hopefully this means we won't have to go buy Avatar Fire and Ash tickets 3 more weeks in a row just to see an Avengers Doomsday trailer ahead of the movie. You know, hopefully this means they're just going to be releasing them online. And if that's the case, the second trailer, I think, it has something to do with Thor, and maybe just showing Thor and what he's looking like in Avengers Doomsday. And then the third trailer is rumored to be a Doctor Doom, you know, RDJ trailer. And then the fourth trailer is like the trailer for the movie. I don't know. But comment below your Avengers Doomsday thoughts. Have you heard any other rumors about the trailers or anything? You know, definitely, you know, if you're going to talk spoilers, just put spoilers and then your comment so other people, just in case they don't want to read your comment that's super spoilery. But I feel like it's a pretty safe space. We can talk spoilers here and, you know, don't talk about leaked stuff if I didn't talk about it in this video, but definitely interesting trailer. I can't believe Marvel dropped this just randomly today. Like, I was about to sit down and react to the Odyssey trailer and the Steven Spielberg, you know, Disclosure UFO movie trailer, and then I was like, well, I guess I got to do this one first because I'm hyped for Avengers Doomsday. And even this little teaser trailer gets me, you know, my brain going. The brainstorming is storming, if you know what I mean. And I love Captain America, so seeing Steve Rogers back, you know, as much as I love Sam Wilson's Captain America too, you know, it's not like I want him over the other. I just don't like how Avengers Endgame left my boy Cap, you know, like poor fucking RDJ snaps and dies, you know, sacrificing himself for everyone, and then Steve's just like, yeah, I'm gonna leave too, it's all good. No! No! You don't get to kill 2/3 of the head of the Avengers in the same movie, and you might be like, oh, well, they didn't kill Steve. No, they sent him back in time, didn't show us any of that, and then killed him off by making him old. Fuck that. So apparently they're retconning all that because now we're going back in time and seeing Steve in a baby married to Peggy in this alternate timeline. Maybe. Who knows? I'm expecting Dr. Doom to have something to say about that. But comment below your thoughts about the Avengers Doomsday teaser trailer revealing Captain America is back for Avengers Doomsday. Are you excited about that? Do you hope they show you, you know, him bringing back the stones? I know I do. You know, even if that was a big part of this movie, I would love to see it, but I doubt it will be. I doubt, you know, hell, this could be the opening shots of the movie, you know, the same way where Avengers Endgame opened up on Clint, you know, and his daughter disappearing and his family getting turned to ash. Maybe this is something similar. Maybe he's like, you know, holding his son, and then everything starts eroding or something, or like an incursion starts to happen, and he's like, oh god, did I cause this? Yes, you did. But I'd love to hear your thoughts, and if you'd like to talk to me on my other social medias, links for those down in the description below. And if you made it this far into the video, I would love to hear from you, and I really appreciate you guys for clicking on this video and making it this far. And if you would like to support the channel, the best way of doing that is smashing the like button, commenting down in the comment section below, subscribing if you haven't already, and hitting that bell so you don't miss future trailer reactions or future Avengers Doomsday content, and you'll get the notifications when those come out. Once again, my name's Big Cam. Thank you guys so much for sticking around, and I'll see you gorgeous people in the next one. Peace!